So what we notice here is that the purple tiles are added by 2 on each side, all right? And the white tile, we are adding 1 to each size as it grows, starting from 0. Because if you notice on size 1, there's no white pattern tile. On size 2, we have 1. Size 3, we have 2. Size 4, we have 3. Okay? So let us move on to our next slide. All right, now that we have looked at that pattern, we are going to complete this table, all right, to describe our method, all right. We did say that on size 1, we have 2 purple tiles. Size 2, we have 4 purple tiles. Size 3, we have 6 purple tiles. Sorry, size 3, we have 6 purple tiles, and size 4, we have 8 purple tiles. So I want us to complete table 5 and 6 and 30. All right, we'll complete 5, 6, and 30 because on the previous slide we were given the exact numbers that we need to know and how the pattern grows. Right, so now we are completing our table, or rather we are plotting the information that we gathered from the pattern that we saw on the previous slide. Okay, the information is still here. We still have our size, we have the number of purple tiles, number of white tiles. We just have to see what happens further as the pattern grows. If we were to continue with the pattern, what would the numbers be? All right, so also here on this page we have the total number of tiles. All right, so it is easy to get the total number of tiles. You just add white tiles and the purple tiles and then you get your answer, right? So if you can just write for me on the chat box for the number of tiles for size 5, what would be the number of tiles for size 5? Are we able to use our chat box today? Because I would love us to actually respond using the chat box. But if we're not able to use our chat box, that's also fine.
Ma'am, your chat box is now active.
Okay, thank you. All right, can we then have the answer for size 5, the number of tiles, also the number of, the number of purple tiles for size 5, number of white tiles, and also the number of, the total number of size 5. So for size 5, what we'll do, let me first give you the answer for size 5, what we'll do. All right, now that we've noticed that the number of purple tiles are growing by 2 on each pattern. So what we do, we'll multiply by 2. We will multiply each size by 2, right? We saw the first size, if we say 1 multiplied by 2, it has 2, and then 2 multiplied by 2, we'll have 4. 3 multiplied by 2, we'll have 6. 4 multiplied by 2, we'll have 8, and 5 multiplied by 2, we'll have 10 tiles, right? And then now we move on to the number of white tiles. All right, what we noticed with the number of white tiles is that 1 is being added to each size, to each pattern as it grows, right? On size 1, we had 0, and then on size 2, we had 1. On size 3, we had 2. Size 4, we had 3. So on size 5, we'll have 4. So what I noticed immediately is that on each size, right, from size 1 to size 5, the number of white tiles is 1 less than the exact number of the pattern, or rather than the exact size of the pattern. All right, so we have on size 1, we have 0. So if you notice that anything less than 1 will be 0, not anything, or rather, if you move down on your number line by 1 step, you go to 0, right? From your right to your left, that would be on your number line. From 1, it would be to 0. And then from 2, it would be to 1. From 3, it would be 2. From 4, it will be 3. From 5, it will be 4. That's one thing that I've noticed with this pattern, right? And then the total number of tiles, all right? Total number of tiles for 1 is 2, because when you add anything with 0, the number remains the same number. Remember that rule. When you add a number to 0, the number will remain the same because nothing changes. As we said, 0 means nothing. You have added nothing to your number. All right, so on size 2, you add your 2 numbers, 4 purple tiles plus 1, and then you have 5. 3, on size 3, you add 6 purple tiles plus 2 purple tiles, you have 8. So for 4, 8 purple tiles plus 3, you have 11. Now for 5, we had 10 purple tiles, and for white we'll have 4, right? And then you have your number 14 for total. Now can we complete number 6 on the chat box? I see that everyone is correct, but Bunse made a little mistake there and said the total number is 15. I'm sure that was just an error there, because when you add 4 and 10, we will get 14, not 15. Okay, I'm sure that was just a mistake there, Bunse, that you typed. It was a typing error, I would want to believe. All right, on number 6. On number 6, I have Ihsan Kennedy saying the number will be 12, and then for the white tiles, it will be 5, and for the total number would be 17. And that's correct. I have Zamila also with the same answer. That is correct. No problem, JD. Thank you for joining us and welcome. Now jumping to size 30, we're going to skip all the other numbers and we'll move to 30. So what is going to happen with 30? Now that we have a pattern, we know that, okay, with purple tiles, we add 2 tiles, and then for us to be able to get the purple tiles, you multiply by 2. And for us to be able to get the white tiles, you add 1 from the previous size. And then you just add your tiles, and then you get your number of tiles. So can we have the number of size 30? All right, I have Ihsan again saying that number of purple tiles will be 30, and then the number of white tiles will be 29, and then the total number will be 89. Okay, and then yes, it's size 30. I understand. No worries, Ihsan. I understand it's size 30. All right, I have 60, 29, 30. I have 60, 29, 27. Zano. Zano is saying we have 27 for the last block, which is total number of tiles. Please switch off your camera, Musi, otherwise we'll kick you out of the class. No cameras, so no videos are allowed. All right, Zano, I don't know how you got your, for total number of tiles, how you got the 27. All right, because remember, for us to be able to get the total number, we add the 2. All right, I see that you rectified it. All right, it's 89. Thank you so much for that. All right, so we are aware of what is happening now. All right, another thing that I've noticed with this pattern, all right, if you're looking at the total number, of tiles, all right, I noticed that the number for each size grows by 3. All right, you just add 3 on your next tile, because we have here on the first size, for the total number of tiles, we have 2. Total number of size, on size 2, we have 5. So 2 plus 3, that's 5. And then 5 plus 3, that's 8. 5 plus 3, it's 11. And then 11 plus 3, it's 14. You see how it goes. You just add 3 and then you get the next one. That's another pattern that I have. Sorry, that's another, yes, that's another pattern that I've recognized with this size. So let us move on with our slides. All right, here will be our exercise. All right, we have pattern X, we'll have pattern Y, and we have pattern Z. All right, pattern X is similar to the one that we have just completed. We have pattern Y, we have pattern Z. Right, let's move on to the next slide. You'll still be able to see the pattern Y, X, and Z on the same slide, so you don't have to worry. We just going to look at the instruction as to what we need to do. Okay, so it says in a table, record the above number pattern using the same rule. What do we mean by the same rule? The pattern could use addition, multiplication, or division to increase the size of the pattern. Remember, we did say that yesterday. The rule would be, if we are adding, it would be plus. If we're multiplying, then the rule will be, for example, on pattern X that we've just completed, the rule was multiplied for the purple tiles was multiplied by 2, for the white tiles was an addition of 1. All right, so that rule, if you had done your homework, the rule will be, right, the number multiplied by 2 plus 1, if you had done your homework. All right, so use the rule to increase each pattern. Use the rule to increase each pattern. So we're moving on to our next slide, where we are going to do our exercise. Okay, so here's the pattern. We'll first start with pattern X. Okay, we'll start with pattern X. We are given a table. It does not have a number of total, sorry, a total number of tiles. But we'll look at it as soon as we are done with all the patterns, right? So pattern number X for size 1, size 2, size 3, and size 4. We are given the number of purple tiles on size 1, which is 3. We are also given the number of purple tiles on size 3, right? And also for number of white tiles, we are given the number of size 2 and the size number of 4 we are given. All right, so now let us complete for size number 2. The number of purple tiles, we're just filling in the information that we have gathered from the from the patterns, and then we plot it into our table. All right, for pattern X, Kennedy is saying we'll have 6, and then for size 4, we'll have 12. Okay, Buntle is saying for size 2, we'll have 94. I don't know, maybe that's an error there. You're saying 9 and 4 already. For the number of purple tiles, we're already given for size number 3, the number 9. So we are looking for the size number 2 and the size number 4. Okay. So I see everyone else is saying we'll have 6 and 12. Okay, what do we notice about this pattern? How does this pattern grow? Can we answer that question? How does this pattern grow? For us to be able to say that for size number 2 we'll have 6 and for size number 4 we'll have 12. How did we get to that? All right, JD says we add 3 and Melanda says 3 by adding 3 more plus purple tiles. That's correct. That's correct. Everyone says by adding 3, right? That's one thing that we've noticed by adding 3. What is another way of getting to our number of purple tiles besides adding 3? Yes, we noticed that you add 3, but what is another rule that we can use? For us to be able to get the number, what would be the rule that we'll use? Okay, we have noticed that, yes, multiplies are not by which number. We've noticed that for each pattern, for the pattern to grow, we're adding 3 more tiles to purple tiles. But now the rule that we'll use, what would be the rule? We'll be multiplying by 3. Thank you so much. It will be multiplying by 3. Because on size 1, if you multiply by 3, your answer will be 3 because it will be 1 multiplied by 3. And on 2, it will be 2 multiplied by 3. You have your 6. And on size 3, it will be 3 multiplied by 3. You will have 9. And then on size 4, if you say 4 multiplied by 3, you will have your 12. Right? The addition is only to increase the size of the pattern, but the rule will be multiplying by 3 for each size for us to be able to get the number of tiles. Thank you so much. I do see that the rest of the class also says multiply by 3. Number pattern multiplied by 3. That's correct. Number pattern multiplied by 3. All right, now let's go to our white tiles. For pattern X, let's go to our white tiles. What is the number of white tiles on size 1 and also size 3? What is the number of white tiles on size 1? We're still looking on pattern X. The number of white tiles and also, sorry, for size 1 and also for size 3. All right, okay, I have for size 1, the answer is 0. That's correct. Size 1 is 0. There is no white tile or white tiles that are presented on the size 1 pattern. And then for size 3, Nico says we have 4, but we already have 4 white tiles on number 2. Sorry, that was my mistake. My apologies there. My apologies. Now I see that I made a mistake. The number of white tiles, sorry, on the pattern X for size 2, it is 2. My apologies, but 4 was supposed to be on 3. I do apologize about that. So what is it that we notice on the white tiles? How do we grow the pattern? How do we grow the pattern? By adding 2 on each size. We're adding 2 on each size for us to be able to grow the pattern, right? That's correct. We add 2. And then what is the rule that we use for white tiles? What is the rule? Are we multiplying for white tiles or are we only adding? Do we multiply? Do we multiply or do we just add the number of white tiles? Because what I want us to notice is that if we're saying we'll multiply for the number of tiles, right? The pattern number by the number of white tiles. And we're saying we'll multiply by 2. I want us to notice this. On the first size, right, we have no white tiles, right? So now we multiply by 2. The first size will be 1 multiplied by 2. So if we're saying 1 multiplied by 2, because we're using the pattern number, right? We're using the pattern number. So if we're saying 1 multiplied by 2, that would mean that we have 2 white tiles. So I want us to look very carefully on this pattern and think again about our answers. Do we multiply for the white tiles or do we just add? Right? Because it is not going to be the same with the purple tiles where we are able to multiply. Again, I'm going to say, if you look at your pattern number, that's the number that you use to multiply or to add, right? So the pattern number, when you go into your rule, pattern number, you multiply it by 2. So we add 2, we agree that we just add 2 on the white tile, right? We just add the number 2. All right, now let us move to pattern Y. Let us move to pattern Y. All right, for pattern Y, we have 4 purple tiles, size for size 1, and for size 2, we have 8 purple tiles and 3 white tiles. And for size 3, we have 12 purple tiles and 6 white tiles. For size 4, we have 16 purple tiles and 9 white tiles. I hope you are writing this down because we don't have it on the screen. I hope you are writing it down. For size 1, we have 4 purple tiles. For size 2, we have 8 purple tiles and 3 white tiles. For size 3, we have 12 purple tiles and 6 white tiles. For size 4, we have 16 purple tiles and 9 white tiles. So we'll start with the purple tiles, right? And we will work from 5, 6, and 7. All right? We'll see what will happen from if we increase the pattern to size 5, to size 6, to size 7. All right? We're going to work that. What will happen if we increase the size of the pattern to size 5, size 6, and size 7? All right, how many purple tiles will we have on size 5? We can use the chat box. How many purple tiles will we have on size 5? You think I must set again for pattern Y, as we are seeing on the screen, we have 4 purple tiles, right? And for size 2, we have 8 purple tiles and 3 white tiles. For size 3, we have 12 purple tiles and 6 white tiles. For size 4, we have 16 purple tiles and 9 white tiles, right? Now we are going to see what is going to happen if we increase the size of pattern Y, right? We are going to increase it to size 5, size 6, and size 7. Okay, so now the question will be as above, what is the number of purple tiles, and also what is the number of white tiles. So we'll start with the number of purple tiles for size 5. What will be the number of purple tiles for size 5? All right, I have Nico saying 20, Simpiwe 15, Melande saying 16, and I have the second person using a Samsung Galaxy saying 20. All right, I have two people saying 20, and I have Simpiwe and Melande saying 15 and 16. All right, first what we need to notice, Zana also says 20. All right, what we need to notice is that how is this pattern growing? Right, that's the first question that we need to ask ourselves. How is this pattern growing? What is happening with the pattern, right? That is how you investigate. What is happening with this pattern? Is it growing? Is it growing, or is it becoming less? Okay, all right, and by what number is it growing, or is it decreasing? Okay, so those are the questions you should be asking yourself. All right, you notice on the first size, there's only 4 purple tiles, no white tiles. Size 2, okay, we have 2 units of size of 4 purple tiles. On size 3, we have 3 units of 4 purple tiles. All right, and on size 4, we have 4 units of 4 purple tiles. So that already gives you the rule. Immediately it gives you the rule that, okay, then if I have 1 unit for size 4 of 4 purple tiles, and 2 units of 4 purple tiles, 3 units of 3 units of 4 purple tiles, 4 units of 4 purple tiles, then already there's a constant there, which is 4. Remember yesterday we said we look for the constant. There's a constant there, which is 4, right? So now what is happening? Okay, you notice that it grows by 4. You're adding a 4. So what is the rule? What is the rule for me to be able to get the size number for 5? Right, let's see the answers for size number 5. Right, Melanie, yes, it is 4. You add 4 purple tiles. That's correct. But now, I had people saying 15 and some were saying 16. All right, for size number 5, since you have noticed that you have a constant that is 4, so your rule will be you multiply by 4, right? You notice that it is added by 4 on each side. So this basically means that I am going to have to multiply by 4. Take the pattern number and multiply by the constant number, which is 4. Right? So the correct answer would then be for size number 5, Melande, will be 20. For size number 5, remember, 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. We already have 16 for size 4. Right? We have already 1 unit of size 4, the second one, the third one, and the fourth. So what we do, we multiply by 4 because we notice that the constant is 4. So we multiply 4 multiplied by 4. We get 16, that's size number 4. But now we are working for size number 5. And we already said we add 4 to each size, right? So if we have 5 units of 4, then that would mean that we multiply 5 by 4 and the answer would be 20. Okay, because we are working on size 5. We said we want to see what will happen to the pattern if we increase it, right? Now let us move on to size, or before we move on to size number 6. What is the number of the white tiles? We were working on size 5 with the purple tiles. Now what is the number of the white tiles that we'll get on size 5? Remember, on size 1, you have no white tiles. We have 3 on size 2. We have 6 on size 3, 9 on size 4. So what would be the number? Or what is the first thing that you notice? How is this pattern growing? First, answer that question. How is this pattern growing? Right? If you are able to see that, okay, this is the number that it grows with. Yes, you're adding 3. It is growing by adding 3, right? So for us to be able to get to the next number of white tiles, we have to add 3. So if on size 5 we have 20 purple tiles, then that would mean we have 12 white tiles. That's correct, Molly and Muntle. We will have then 12 white tiles. 20 purple tiles, 12 white tiles, right? Now let us move to size 6. We'll go back to the purple tiles. If we're having we're having size 6, we have a constant of 4. What is the number of purple tiles? Thank you so much. It will be 24. The correct answer is 24. For size 6, the correct answer will be 24. And what will be the number of white tiles? What would be the number of white tiles? Because we said we were adding 3, the correct answer will be size 6 purple tiles will be 24 and white tiles will be 15. That's correct. I think everyone is on the same page. Now we move to size 7. We move to size 7, our last one. All right, what would happen if we were to increase this pattern to size 7? Okay, you see, now you are able to pick up. You are able to pick up, okay, that is 6 from 16, 20, 24, 28. You see, there's a pattern there already, that from the first one, you are just adding 4 on the next number for you to be able to get your number. You don't even have to add all the patterns, or rather all the units that you have, right? Immediately you are picking up that there is a pattern here. So it's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. The next one is 28, right? So we're using multiples of 4. All right. And now we're going to the number of white tiles. What is the number of white tiles? Molly says 18 and Moses says 18. That's correct. We have 18. Because also we have noticed that there's a pattern. You just add 3 to your second size, right? So we have 28 number of purple tiles and we have 18 number of white tiles. All right. Now let us move. That was our size 7. Let us move to pattern Z. Let's move to pattern Z. Let us move to pattern Z. This one is slightly different. Slightly different, but it's the same thing. We're looking at the number of purple tiles and we're looking at the number of white tiles. All right. So this one is going to stretch our minds a bit, but we just need to focus and just ask ourselves, okay, what is happening with this pattern? What am I adding for me to get the next size? Right? You first check what is happening here. Okay, it's growing. How is it growing? Right? So on size 1, we have 4 purple tiles and 1 white tile. We have 4 purple tiles and 1 white tile. All right. Now it is different here. We're not going to add 4 to each. If you notice, we are not adding 4 to each size. Because if you're looking at size 3, how many white tiles do we have here? Let us count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You see? And if you multiply by 4, you can't have 13 white tiles. 13 is not a factor of 12, or you cannot multiply 4 and get the answer 13. Right? So we need to notice what is happening here. Remember, on size 3, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you cannot be multiplying by 4. And it is clear that we are not adding the same number to each pattern. We are not adding 4. Because if we are saying we're adding 4 from size 1, a plus 4, then it would make sense. Yes, we have 5 white tiles. But now on size 3, with the white tiles, we're only focusing on the white tiles at the moment. With size 3, we would supposed to have 9, but that's not the case. We have 13, right? And with the purple tiles, on the first size, we have 4 purple tiles. Yes, Molly, you can write your answer on the chat box. Plus 4 for the purple tiles. Yes, you're adding 4 for the purple tiles, right? So we're noticing for the purple tiles, we're adding 4, but for the white tiles, there's a difference this time around. Okay, there's a difference this time around. So now I want us to work out how are we getting our second number? How are we getting our next size number for the white tiles? Let's focus on the white tiles. We only have 5 minutes left before our class ends. Let us focus on the white tiles. You can write your answers on the chat box. What is it that you notice? What is it that you notice for us to be able to get the number of the total white tiles? All right, okay. Let me assist you. On the first size, you have 4 purple tiles and 1 white tile, right? On the second size, you have 5 white tiles and 8 purple tiles. Okay, let me see. All right, Molly is saying you add 4 plus 5 plus 6. All right, if we're saying then we'll add 4, right, for the first one to be able to get the second size, then that would mean we have 5. That's correct for the second size. But now for the third size, that's where it becomes tricky. For the third size, right? So size number 3. So we added 4 to get to our second size. So we're saying we will have to add now 5 to get to our next size. So if we're adding 5 to these 5 white tiles, that would give us 10 white tiles. But that is not the case with size 3. Because if you're looking at size 3, you have 13 white tiles, right? So that is not the case with this pattern. Because we're adding 4 from size 1, yes, that's correct, we'll get 5. All right, so let me assist you. All right, so what happens here, you add the number of purple tiles together with the white tiles for you to be able to get to the next size. You see on size 1, you have 4 purple tiles and 1 white tile. That's going to be the pattern. So you take 4 plus 1, you get your 5. That's your 5 white tiles, right? For you to be able to move on to size 3, right, to get the number of the white tiles, remember, you get the number of the white tiles, you take the 5, you add it with the 8 purple tiles, you get your 13, right? Now you move on. All right. You take your 13 white tiles, you add it with the 12 purple tiles. You get your number of white tiles, which is 25. Right? I'm going to repeat this again. With pattern Z, this is the difference. For you to be able to get the number of white tiles, you add the purple tiles with the white tiles on your first size to get the number of white of the white tiles on your second size. 4 plus 1 equals 5. On your second size, you have 5 white tiles, right? For you to be able to move to the third size, you'll add 8 plus 5, 8 purple tiles plus 5 white tiles for you to be able to get the 13 white tiles, right? So you have 13 white tiles plus 12 purple tiles on size 3. To be able to get that, you take the 12 plus the 13, you add it together, and on size 4, you have 25 white tiles. All right? Now your homework will be, since we've come to an end of our class, your homework will be for size 5 and size 6 and size 7. What is the number of white tiles? And also, what is the number of your purple tiles? First, calculate your number of purple tiles, and then calculate your number of white tiles, right? From size 5, 6, and 7. So please do email me. If you missed out on anything on this class, you can always go to YouTube. You'll be able to search and find this class, or go to Africa Tin Geeks and be able to get the lesson that we have shared today. All right. So also this will be your homework. All right. This will be your homework. In the following flow diagram, a number pattern decreases by 10 in each development. Look at the flow diagram and use a table to record the output. All right, this is your input here. You are given the rule. You are only asked to get the output. That's also your homework. Please do complete that as your homework. You just complete the table. So you know that today you've learned about the input, the rule, and the output, right? The rule is what you do in the pattern for you to get the next size. So right, I hope this lesson was fruitful. I hope to see you again tomorrow, same time. Please do complete the homework and send it to my email, abongolo@gmail.com. You can find the lesson at YouTube, at Africa Tin Geeks, and also on YouTube. That is the end of our lesson for today. Thank you so much. For any questions that you have, forward them to my email. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.